Hello and welcome everybody to season 2, episode 2 of our Stu and Coco podcast series. And will be the first podcast where we see our anchor client, Danny Blakeston, Managing Director of Structure Tone International, proposing his Inspirational Business Leader. It'll be the first one of 10 building up till Christmas. And I think what we want to do first is look at Structure Tone in terms of your 4 key business objectives. Look at your nomination, Danny, as to who your inspirational business leader is, obviously, and why. And then talk a little bit more about where the money will be going, obviously, if this one is the winner. And I guess the first thing to say is welcome. And Danny Blakeston, tell us a little bit more about yourself and Structure Tone.
Thank you, Tony. I'm now in sort of coming up to month 3 of my tenure at Structure Tone, having accepted the role as MD here from the 1st of June this year. And as you might imagine, Tony, I've spent a lot of time talking to people that I've known in our industry over many years to gain some feedback and playback on Structure Tone and what we do well and what we could improve on. And that's been a really interesting time for me and a number of really interesting conversations. So it's led me quite quickly to sort of defining what I would say the core of where I want to take the business and the things that I think we need to focus on in the coming months and years to make us a contractor of choice in the areas that we operate in, which, by the way, are fit out, refurbishment, and mission critical, which is our version of data centres. So the first thing that I'm going to focus on is the product that we have that we sell as Structure Tone London, and that's obviously delivering great construction projects. And I think sometimes with a broad ranging business focus that's looking at business imperatives and business development and marketing and the like, we can lose sight sometimes of the greatest marketing and business development tool that we have at our disposal, which is without doubt delivering great projects on site. So the one thing that's going to be our first port of call at Structure Tone, and the area where we spend the most effort, is going to be achieving operational excellence. Because if we do what we say we're going to do on projects and on job sites, then I think that the rest of our business will just click into place. Business development and sales in a business where you're delivering success on sites is a very easy thing to deliver. But if you haven't got that end product right, then selling, achieving your targets in terms of turnover and margin are very difficult to achieve. So for me, that's the foundation of a good construction business and our first port of call for a focus on business improvement. Another thing that I'm determined for us to achieve is to be a more customer-focused business. So we've done a lot of work in the short time I've been here in overhauling our customer satisfaction program, where we go out and have open and honest discussions with our customers and the consultants that we work with at the very beginning, at least in the middle, and then at the end of the project. That's the best bit of free advice you're going to get in our industry. The customer telling you directly how we make them feel on the delivery journey that we go on at every juncture. So lots of companies do that. That's not an uncommon thing. But for me, the real trick to that is making sure you do something with the information. Yeah. We're going to collect all this really relevant data. The important thing to me is that that's played back to our delivery teams and we act upon it. So because perception from customers, it definitely is reality. So the difference in the Structure Tone CX program will be that every month all the project teams will gather together. We'll go through the surveys that have been done, and we'll really make a plan to act upon the customer's feedback and make changes to make our offering a lot better.
To make that journey a smoother, happier, and a more fulfilling one, I guess, collaboratively for all the stakeholders.
Yeah, absolutely. So, the surveys that I've done so far, it makes perfect business sense. So the projects where the feedback is good, the scores are above 70 or 80%. The reality of those projects is they also tend to be the ones that are safest, that have the best chance of repeat business, and from a pure business perspective, they make the most money as well. So it's a no-brainer that we get to a place where the customer feedback on us is high, and we focus on continuously improving to make that as good as we can.
And in terms of communication at all levels, are there any new strategies that you're introducing to ensure that at all levels that the communicating of that is achieved?
Yeah, so the first thing that I've got the senior leadership team in the business focused on is recasting the 2021 business plan, so that we get something that actually recognises where we are in the market, and then actually recognises the opportunities that are in front of us and what we can bring to the market. The next phase of that is, once we've established something which is robust and achievable and has the right strategy within it, it's the comms of that. So, a business plan in my book is no good if it gets compiled by a group of directors
stuck in a drawer.
Stuck in the drawer. So the thing that we are going to do this year is, towards the back end of the year, we'll make sure that there's a forum, and the style of that is going to be depending on where we are with social distancing at the time. But ideally, a forum where all Structure Zone UK employees are in the room. There's a full playback on the plan, and most importantly, people come away from that with an idea of what their part is in the plan. So that everybody gets that understanding.
Enfranchisement.
Yeah, empower people to be part of the success story. We can also then weave the strands of that plan into people's PDRs and into their job descriptions and their goals. The goal is there that we really do empower people to be part of the success of Structured Zone going forward.
Fantastic. And I think we were saying earlier that it's something that you very much have seen Structure Zone achieving on a global scale. It's not recreating anything new. It's taking that model with your blend and making sure that it's introduced into your business in London.
Yeah, and so for me, one of the most impressive things about this business is their global reach and their ability to be successful in nearly everywhere they work across the world. They're largely the number one contractor in their sectors in every location they operate in. We aspire to be that good, and with close colleagues across the world that are achieving that, our desire to collaborate with those guys, to learn from what they do and how they do it, and embed that in the UK business, it's high.
Yeah, it's exciting times, really exciting times. So, with that kind of overview of the business, what's important to the business, what those business goals are, what your agenda is going to be certainly over the next 12 months, tell us about your nomination for the Inspirational Business Leader Award and why.
Yeah, so as I said, Tony, base one for us is going to be get the delivery on site right. So for me, it's important to recognise somebody who does that excellently. So my nomination is a guy called Kevin Crane. Kevin is our project director on a refurbishment project that we're doing for WPP at Rose Court. It's a tough project. It's heavy refurb. It's recladding of an existing building. It's punching lift cores for an existing structure. So it's a complicated project. And for my mind, Kevin has managed that project through the whole trauma of COVID and the impact on working practices and the impact on the availability of labour and resources, with absolute minimal impact to the project. And when I look at him as an individual, I think he's one of the only people in my career that I've worked with that truly manages risk on behalf of a customer. You know, when he's on that job, he's not really a structure tone guy. He's working for WPP.
He's a WPP man.
And he's dealing with that project to make it the best he can for his customer. So in terms of, you know, one, being someone who epitomises good delivery on site, he also ticks the box of customer focus as well, because he's working tirelessly to make the project great for his end user.
I think the other thing that's interesting about Kevin is, you know, we talked about excellence in communication and collaboration, and I can honestly say I don't know anybody who works under him who doesn't love him.
No, it's a fair point. And one value that Kev has, his comms is simple and direct, but what more do you want if you're on a construction project? You know, give me clear direction, both to our team and the supply chain. That's a real positive.
Yeah, fantastic. Okay, fantastic. I've got to say, you was a brilliant hire, Danny. Excellent piece of recruitment. I did that one.
I didn't get a commission for teeing that one up for you either.
No, you didn't. That was a good bit of PR for me. No, very pleased, very pleased. And obviously, if this is the leading podcast, where would our donation go? Where would that £1,000 go, Danny? Which charity?
For me, Tony, I think something that's really relevant at this moment in time is the NSPCC. I think if we look at people that have suffered because of the implications of COVID, I think our children need to be high on the list of people that have been impacted, so that they are our future. And of all the things that have happened so far in terms of, you know, being progressive about lockdown, making life easier, the one thing that seems to have slipped behind potentially is the children's education. And also, I think the NSPCC is relevant because with people being confined to their homes for a long period of time, situations where children can be at risk in their family environment are, one,
increased,
probably exacerbated, and two, probably more difficult to detect to the outside world. So I think, given where we've been since March this year, the NSPCC feels like a real good fit for me.
Yeah, I think that's a great nomination. Brilliant charity, does great work, and obviously something that's close to your heart. And I would chime in with both of your reasons. Fantastic. Well, fingers crossed that we get as many nominations via likes and shares as possible. Danny Blakeston, thank you for your time. Good luck with your plan at Structure Tone, and I shall look forward to seeing you soon. Thanks, Danny.
Thank you very much, Tony. Hope everyone's safe and well.
Super. Thank you. Bye-bye.